Greetings, chat. Welcome to the show. I already see someone planning to flee the United States of America as if it's under a situation of war. And you have to flee before the draft is coming. Janku, you need to reconsider. You don't want to flee America. Don't want to flee it because it is still the best nation on earth. Trust me, though. Trust me. Well, there's really no other place that can provide you with more security than the United States. Now, granted, and I'll give you this, there are certain places where it's worse to live. But the reality is, Americans don't realize how wealthy they are compared to Europe. What's wrong with the volume? Is the volume not good? I think the volume is good. No, the whole thing is, I was comparing American taxes earlier with European taxes. Like, we pay so much, so freaking much compared to Americans. And, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about GDP. It doesn't really matter about anything else. Like, what matters is, like, how many amenities do you have around yourself? And I gotta teach you, like, Americans don't realize it because you haven't traveled. Like, if you actually travel to other places in the world, you will realize just how good you're having. But yeah, I mean, sure, like if you don't like it, live America. You'll end up coming to my words when you go somewhere else. I will say this. Obviously, like not all America is good America, right? Like Chicago, San Francisco. Like there are places where you don't want to be. But if you go to a rural American town, or there are a couple of states where it's still good, like you're miles ahead. Hellscapes like Britain. Or places like Germany. I'm just saying, and even if you go to Europe and you find a nice place, like let's say you find a place like Poland, right, and you have kids there and a family, and then when World War III eventually happens and Russia gets into conflict with Poland, you're going to wish you weren't there. Perfect example of this is Coach Redpill. I remember Coach Redpill, I was watching his channel, and he made a video saying how great Ukraine is, because he's in Eastern Europe, and he got away from all the wokeness, and he enjoys it there, and the healthcare is great, because he had a coronary bypass or something, and it was really cheap compared to what he expected in the United States, and he said that people that are in the US right now are imbeciles, they're idiots, because you can escape it, you can escape globalism by going to Ukraine. And then the war happened, right? So I'm just saying, like, historically speaking, America is probably going to be the best place on earth. Another place that's really good is in Asia. Like, if you're in Japan, if you're in South Korea not so much. If you're in Japan, right? China may be good in the future. Like, even now, it depends on what type of person you are. If you're the type of person that shuts the fuck up, goes to work, and doesn't care about politics, there are certain regions of China that are actually livable. So, don't diss it. Don't diss it till you try it. Anyway, I'm planning to retire to Thailand, money reasons. Like, good luck with that. Let me know how it was. I actually don't know that much about Thailand. Jankus, why is my barbecue name gone? I don't know. I think you should stay in Texas, though. I haven't given you my money in a while, says Walking Corpse, and thank you. V, here's some shekels. I appreciate that. I haven't gotten shekels in a long time. The thing is, like, every nation has economic problems right now. Like, it's a global thing, and every nation has problems. The question is, like, where are you at? And what are you going to do, right? So, like, for instance, if you're in America and you're in New York, yeah, you can get stabbed in a train. It's true, right? But if you go into Vermont and you go into a peaceful American town, like, you can raise a family there, right? Like, don't tell me you can't, because you can. And you're not going to be worried that you're going to be stabbed on the streets. You're not going to be worried that the government listens into your communications and is filing you for hate speech and shit, right? If you go to Portland, obviously you're dying fucking up, right? Like, it's one of the worst shitholes imaginable. But if you're in Las Vegas, how is it like to be in Las Vegas? I always wondered. It's like, not as a tourist, but to actually live there. Personally, I'm already embracing the winter birds from New York City to attempt to move down there to Florida. I heard that the Floridan governor had a very interesting thing telling people that want to move to Florida to reconsider. I love America, never leaving this goddamn place. I've traveled 21 countries. See, this is the thing that I've noticed, and it's a pattern. When I tell people that America is the best place on earth, they generally don't believe me. They will think it's like, what the fuck do I know? Or some even get upset, right? And they will say, oh, well, don't you know, like, about this social justice bullshit that happened, or, like, the high crime rate, or blah, blah, blah. And when I tell people, like, look, America is really great, they don't believe me. But someone that actually traveled, especially Americans that saw the world, and they've been to India, and they've been to Europe, and they've been to Africa, and, immediately they're, no, V is right. Like, America is really good. Because it is. So SRC Baker traveled to 21 countries. The US is the best. Some of my family wants to move back to Italia, including my mom. So I told her, okay, goodbye. I'll visit you once in a while. The thing is, like, it's not that in Europe you can have this country and you can say, oh, well, there's going to be elections and things will change. The European Union is kind of like a bureaucratic parasite, which is forcing every nation to be shit. Like, it's forcing us to be net zero. It's using a lot of bureaucracy, preventing industry from taking off. And so you can go into a European country and you can say, oh, this is a good place, like Italy. And then there can be some EU decisions which completely fuck Italy's infrastructure, and then Italy raises taxes, lowers your cost of living, and there you go. It's less likely for that to happen in America. Fine, I'll listen to Tim Pool overthinking things. I'll stay. You should stay. No, like, seriously, if you're in America and you want to move, like, let's say you're in Texas and you don't like Texas, don't move to another country, move to another state. Alaska, for instance. Alaska is probably, like, if I was in America, I would go to Alaska. And I'll explain why. The problem is, like, the weather, obviously, but it's not suffocating. There's not that many people. And I think, like, they're already trying to build their, a new naval base for trade. Like, they want to amplify trade. So, like, there's going to be a lot of job opportunities for your kids. And so, out of all the places, yeah, I would choose Alaska. Like, you're not going to get BLM-level riots in Alaska. You're not going to get businesses being destroyed and shut down in Alaska. And so, like, if you're the type of person that just wants peace and security, I'd go to Alaska. Not a lot of people want to go to Alaska as well, right? Like, usually people want to go to Hawaii, they want to go to other places. And so, like, too many people is bad. Just like, too little people is bad as well. So, like, somewhere in between. Alaska. Yeah, I know it's cold. I'm aware. Like, that's the only downside. But, like, the fact that it's cold means that it's not very desirable. And if it's not very desirable, that's a good thing. You know, countries are kind of like your hobbies. You don't want them to go mainstream. Very little infrastructure. Well, yeah, that's why you get a car. In fact, Alaska will actually give you money for moving there because they're going to need it to survive. Yeah. Cold tends to make people behave. that is so true. That is so true. Like, it's actually, like, very difficult to be enraged, you know, to scream and be angry when it's fucking cold. Like, notice how there's no road rage during the winter. Did you guys notice that? Like, when do you get road rage? You get road rage during the summer when everything is hot. And you have, like, someone with a car and they go outside and start yelling. I've never seen road rage during the winter. Like, at least not in my country, where you go to, like, minus 15 degrees Celsius. Right? Like, you spit, and by the time the spit reaches the asphalt, it's already frozen. I've never seen people argue. Like, no one wants to argue. People just want to go home. So, yeah, like, probably that's why Alaska is a good place. Anyway, right. Let's move to, Mr. Mamdani. I actually made a video and I said that this guy is going to win. A lot of people call me stupid. Again, I don't know why. It's like, you have an opinion, you know, like, you're doing politics and you're talking about politics for more than a decade. And then you get a feel for it, you know, like, you can't really articulate why that is, but, like, you see the candidates. You listen to them a little bit, and they're like, yeah, this guy is going to win. Oh my God, you're so stupid. Brain rot, stupid. Like, okay. And then he won. Why did I think he's going to win? Two reasons. Like, number one, I understand how people vote. They don't vote on, like in America, the entire election campaign is like, I am good. I am good. The other guy, bad. He is bad. Bad. I am good. Morality. I am moral. He is immoral. Right? Like, for those of you that don't know, this is not how Eastern Europe does politics. Like, Eastern Europe is about taxes, how much money, who stole, right? Like, it's not about good or bad. It's more about pragmatic things. It's like the other guy. He stole the Romanian fleet. There was a Romanian fleet there, and now there isn't. Traian Băsescu, what did you do with the fleet? And the other guy is like, he trafficked children during the revolution. Look at him. He's the baby broker. And then they also talk about, if you vote for me, I will lower your taxes. People that work outside the state will flourish. A golden age is going to happen. And then the other guy is like, listen to me, if you work for the state, I will raise the taxes. Your children will get in by nepotism. You will be able, like, everyone else is going to suffer, but you are going to do well because you work for the government. And if you vote for me, you work for me. See? You can't do this thing in America. Like, if you say it like that, no one votes for you, right? Because it's not Christian. It's not Christian. It's not moral. In Romania, it's like, the other guy, he fucked his mistress on the presidential bench. And I fucking loved it. And as I fucked her, as I was fucking her, I took one of those presidential seals and I stamped a tax decrease. Are you going to vote for me or not? Huh? How much do you care that I'm cheating on my wife while I'm lowering your taxes? Seriously, I'm not kidding. Like, this is Eastern European mindset, right? What I'm trying to say is that every nation has different politics, right? Like, what works in America doesn't work in Poland, and what works in Poland doesn't work in Italy. And so when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, which America? The mentally retarded one, New York City. All right. It's New York City. It's going to be a Democrat. Because that's where the mental retardation is at, right? So, if it's going to be a Democrat, who's running for them? I don't even care about the Republicans. They don't matter. I saw this guy. And he's like the snake oil car salesman. He's always happy. He's always smiling. No one is supposed to be this happy. Like if he was to run in Eastern Europe, he wouldn't manage to get in. Because it's like, no, people sometimes get sad. But this guy is happy all the fucking time. Like, I'm willing to bet that if he sees a kitten burning alive into a house, he's going to smile and he's going to be happy. Like you know what I mean? Like you never see him expressing any other human emotion. He never shows anger. He never shows concern. He never shows displeasure. He's always smiling, nonstop. If you wake him up at 3 a.m. in the morning, he's probably going to smile. And so, you need to understand why this is, right? Because, like, the car salesman that's always smiling exists because it works, right? Like, car salesmen, over time, they tried different tactics, and eventually they noticed that if you smile all the time, people buy shit from you. So, like, this is the car salesman. The other thing that I noticed is that he is young. Like, in a world where everyone is in the geriatrics hospital, where if you have like 5 politicians sitting and talking, you also need like 5 medical teams on standby. Because you just don't know, like at any point one of them can have a stroke. I mean, it happens when you're 75. And so, like, you have this guy that's young, charismatic, and that's why people are going to vote for, and Democrat. Like, literally, these 3 things. I didn't really care about his policy. I was like, look, this guy can say that he wants to bring the Soviet Union back. People will vote for him. He can literally say anything. He can say that he's going to open the borders. He can say that he is inviting the head of MS-13 to be one of his political advisors. And people would still vote. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, they will vote for him because he's young, because he smiles, right? I mean, look at the AOC. She's perpetually crossed. She's always angry. She's always agitated. Every single other Democrat. Every single other Democrat. The only thing they know how to sell is outrage, constant contempt for the right wing, and this one didn't. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be like this in politics. What I am saying is that politics works on supply and demand. And when the entire supply is people that are constantly upset, constantly angry, constantly outraged, when you have a politician that smiles, that's what people vote. It doesn't matter what his policies are. It doesn't matter anything else, right? He has a D in front of the name, and he smiles. So, unfortunately, it's also pretty fucking bad. Like, the reason that you should be concerned is that when you look at how the left behaves, they cheered for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They were upset that Donald Trump survived his assassination attempt. And now you have this guy that was kind of soft on Islamic terrorism. And despite all that, they vote for him, right? Like, that's the shocking thing, is the culture. The culture of the other side. Frog Jupiter, thank you for $2. New York City, we got a choice between Joe Biden or Joe Stalin. Again, I'm telling you, it's the personality. Like, I am willing to bet. How much do you want to bet, Frog Jupiter? That if we go, look, I'm going to take Kate. You know, I don't like seeing people in real life. I don't like meeting with people. I will meet with Kate. And I will travel through New York City. And we can stop random people and ask them, what are the policies of the guy you just voted? Do you think they know? Besides, like, some slogans and some trivialities. Like, do you honestly think that they genuinely know the policies of this guy? London is a little bit different. London is more religious. Right? London is a pious city. London is the capital of a holy land. If you go in London, they vote for Sadiq Khan because he's Muslim. That's it. Right? And so, like, he's getting votes guaranteed. Alaska is great, says Kate. Huge oil reserves, gold mines, military bases, real Second Amendment rights, huge fishing industry, and they give every resident $1,600 per year dividend check from the oil industry. Fuck the cold, who cares? I'm glad that someone agrees with me. You know, like, usually when I say Alaska, people look at me like I'm insane. They're like, what are you talking about, V? Who cares about Alaska? Why would I want to be in Alaska? I'm like, well, you want to be in Alaska because, like, you don't want entertainment in your life. You want calm and peace. Never trust a man who smiles. In Eastern Europe, we don't. Like, if you smile in Eastern Europe, you're suspicious. Let me show you how presidential candidates pose. Right? So, hold on. Okay, here's an example, right? This is how politicians in Eastern Europe present themselves. Do you see the soy face? Because I don't. Right? Again, like, this is not like he just woke up one day and went in front of the camera and went like, click, and that's his electoral poster. No, like, there was a team of specialists. Like, they know what the people want. And I'm just, like, picking a random politician. Most of them are like this, right? They don't smile. They don't soy face. Right? Like look at this facial expression. Like, what exactly do you... It's an expression like he's kind of concerned, but not overly concerned. Like, he's not hysterical, right? Like, he's kind of concerned, and then you have like this one. Like, he believes in you, right? It's not about him as the person. It's not like he is the guy. No, like, you're the guy. And this is the difference, right? Like, again, they don't smile, they don't soy face, they don't pog, they're not overly emotional like hysterical women. Now, I'm not saying that this is the way to do politics, right? Like, I'm not saying like this is the way. What I am saying is every nation has its different way, right? Like in America, it's a lot different. If you look at an American campaign poster, like they're overly smiling, they're excited, right? Like they're happy to be there, and they try to make themselves the man. Like, vote for me and I'll fix things. No, like this guy is like, vote for me and I'll motivate you. Like, you'll fix things. You're the guy. You're the one that will fix things, right? You can do it. You can fix it. So when I looked at America and I saw like a guy that's different and he's smiling and young, I was like, okay, well, I mean, this is the thing is it's kind of cyclical, because like in America there used to be the Obama, yes we can, right? Like we can do it. So it kind of has like a decade or two of like that vibe of the president that's always smiling and happy. And then you have like the president that's serious and concerned. I'm now happy to be here. To be honest though, some of the most successful politicians on earth are the ones that are not happy to be there. The ones that have the mantle of responsibility has been thrusted upon me vibe. Right? Like those are the politicians that are genuinely successful. The politicians that are too happy to be there, especially in Eastern Europe, we view them with extreme suspicion. Why are you happy to work for the government? Why? What's so happy to be? No. Sergeant Gunnery, thank you for 25. Previous mayor of NIC, Eric Adams, took bribes from Turkey in order to give them more control over the city. Yeah, but that's just like part of the mayoral duties, especially in New York. See, a lot of people don't understand, but like corruption happens. In Eastern Europe, we have corruption down to a science. And so there is a question. What type of corruption, right? Like you shouldn't wonder, oh my goodness, like is corruption happening? Of course it's happening. The question that you need to ask is like, first of all, how much? And secondly, is it corruption of is it corruption of bloat or corruption of function? Corruption of bloat is when the mayor takes a little bit, for a building, like he takes a little bit of a commission, he skips a little money here and there. Like that's for the bloat, that's acceptable. That will happen like no matter who you pick. Corruption of function is when it destabilizes the entire system, right? It's the shit that you have in London, where Qatar, members of the Sauds own more real estate than the king himself, right? What did Iliescu do a lot of? Like, he did smile, and honestly, like, I think because Iliescu smiled is why no one smiled after him. Like, for those of you who don't know, the first Romanian president was a communist. And instead of getting the nation out of communism, what he did is he kind of tamed democracy. I think like this is the correct way of saying, right? Like he tamed democracy and he maintained communism for a lot longer than it was necessary. And he sold the Romanian industry. He did a lot of awful things. And you can notice he always smiled, right? Like people were poor. Romania was at its weakest historically. And you go on television and you see the motherfucking smiling, and it makes you feel like you want to punch the television. Like it literally makes you feel like you want to just rip that thing off, and back then, like, a television was expensive. But even then, you still wanted to just rip it off the fucking wall and throw it out the window, because, like, you're starving. Like, it's the middle of the winter, you don't have heating. You haven't been paid in 2 months. And you turn on the television and your president is smiling. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? And then you realize, well, of course he's smiling, because if I was in his place and I was stealing as much as he was, I would be smiling too. And so ever since this president, it caused national trauma. So like no politician dares to smile unless they're a woman. I've seen like female politicians smile. But usually like masculine politicians in my country never smile, ever. Seriously, like if it's a happy guy, like if the guy actually is a charming person and he's cheerful in his private life and he makes a lot of jokes, when he's on the camera, he's told, stop smiling. But, right? Because then you look like Iliescu. Yeah, so that's, it's like the Soros smile, yes? Again, I kind of understand them. Like, if I was Soros, I would be smiling as well. Like, imagine, you managed to fuck the economy of 2 nations. I mean, that's an accomplishment. How many human beings on planet Earth can say, yeah, I fucked an economy. Like, I brought a nation to ruin. Yeah, like that's an accomplishment, whether you like to believe it or not. It's not a moral one, but it is an accomplishment nevertheless. And so, if you do that, you're going to smile. Like, I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm tsuyoi. Fuck the economy. Friendly smiling is also an American thing. Yeah, this is what I said. I did say that if you're in America, if you're in the United States, politics is being done different. Zoltar the genie will bring ill fortune to New York. See, this is another thing. Like, can you actually fuck New York more than it is? Because it takes some skill. Like, if you put me in charge and you're telling me, like, V, bring ruin to New York City, I'll be like, well, what exactly can I do? I mean, it's already working as intended, right? Crime is high. Like, they had to get the National Guard inside the subway to fix it. Fentanyl is high, right? Like, they have drugs on the streets. What more can I do in order to fuck New York City more than it is? So, like, if you have, like, an actual competent Democrat that is experienced at fucking things up, maybe. Anyway, the funny thing is, like, I was looking at Zoltar, and he was basically explaining how he wanted to recreate socialist supermarkets. And I'm like, what do you mean, like, socialist supermarkets? And what he meant is, he's going to use taxpayer money in order to fund the supermarkets. Right? So, like, he's going to go into food deserts. And by the way, like, that's a thing in New York City. Like, he's going to go into food deserts, and he's going to use state-funded, like, public supermarkets. And I'm like, wow. I wonder why no one thought about that, you know? Like, is that an example in history where anyone, like, tried to, like, steal money from the people and then use that money to buy food and put it in a supermarket? Like, I'm curious, like, what would happen? He did run an experiment. I think it was, like, 4 supermarkets. They costed, like, $10 million each to operate a year. They weren't producing profit, though. Food rotted. Yeah, the food rotted on the shelves. Turns out, like, when food is rotting, like, more people don't want to come there. But the thing is, though, why do you have food deserts? Because, like, that's a question, you know? And initially, when I read about food deserts, I thought that it's a joke, like, it's just one of those grievances that leftists summon to have a reason to bitch and complain about. But no, like, a food desert is a place in America where if you go on Glovo, if you go on Uber Eats, if you go on an app to buy food, you can't. Like, no one delivers there. And if you actually go out and you try to find the supermarket, the closest one is 10 kilometers away. Can you imagine that? Like, no, seriously, like, I tried wrapping my mind around that. It's like, wait, so, like, if you go out, you can't find a kiosk? No, you can't. Okay, Chet, can you understand, like, living like that? Right? Like, no, seriously, like, you go out of your home, right? Your building, your house, whatever, and you have to walk 10 kilometers until you find civilization that actually does some level of trade. Right? Like no, seriously, like, just like, it's not that there aren't people around you, right? It's not that, like, trade shouldn't happen, because usually when you have, like, a group of people in an area, commerce should just take place. Like, if you have a prison, okay? You put people in a prison, just by the fact that you have, like, a group of humans together, commerce happens. It's a natural thing of humanity. Like, you take 20 people on an island, and you put them together, and they start trading with each other. It's just, like, part of human nature. But not in America. Like, in America, they find a way to bypass that. And there are these food deserts where people actually do not engage in commercial activity. And they have to walk, like, 10 kilometers in order to find a place where they can make a trade. And the reason for that, well, actually, before we go to that reason, is that Zoltan is going to say, oh, you know what we can do? We can put, like, supermarkets that are going to be paid by the taxpayer to be there. I have to drive to another state for my preferred and reasonable food prices. No, you don't understand, okay? Listen. I'm not saying that there aren't places on planet Earth where people can drive in order to get a better deal. Like this in itself is normal, right? Like, this is also part of society. Like, yeah, sure. Usually, if you look hard enough, like, you will find a different place that either sells better quality goods or cheaper goods. Or sometimes better quality and cheap. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in America, in a food desert, you actually have to drive 10 kilometers to find anything. It's not that like you can't find like the goods down there. No, listen, you can't find anything. There's no economic transactions happening. Unless, of course, like, you count the drug dealer down the street. Now that guy is also engaging in economic activity. But we're talking about like buying food, not drugs. No, V, I live 15 minutes from a city. No, I'm not talking about that, okay? Like, again, I'm not saying that you can't live in the middle of the wilderness by yourself and the closest gas station happens to be 3 hours away. Like that is also understandable. Like, you chose to move and live in wilderness, right? Like, you don't have anyone around you, so obviously it's not like the Valkyries are going to descend from Valhalla and start doing commerce with you. Like, I'm not saying about that, right? We're not talking about the person that's in an actual desert in Nevada, unable to find anything to buy because, like, the closest gas station is 2 hours away. No. Listen. Like, listen to what I'm saying. You live in a city, okay? You live in a place where there's millions of people around you. Like you live in civilization. You're surrounded by the urban jungle, okay? And despite the fact that commerce should happen based on how humans function, you cannot find a single open store unless you travel 10 kilometers away. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's not because, and again, it's not because you live in a homeowner association where, you know, like, it's illegal to open a store. No, like, you could open a store if you wanted to, right? Like nothing is stopping you from opening a store in that neighborhood. But it's a bad idea. And if you do open a store in that neighborhood, you will immediately find out why other people aren't opening stores in that neighborhood. Food desert equals overregulation and poor policing. Poor V, I know what you are talking about, says Lixia. Well, I'm glad someone does. Yeah, like it's very difficult to explain to people. Like, seriously, like, the concept of a food desert is a thing that most people think they get it. But, like, when you genuinely try to think about it, it's like, wait, in America? Oh, so, like, you're in a place where, like, the nearest gas station happens to be 3 hours away. No, listen. You're in an actual building, right? Like, you're in an apartment complex with 40 other families, and when you go downstairs, there's no shop. Like most people don't understand. It's like, wait. So, like, when you say no shop, like, no big supermarket? No. Like, listen. Nothing sells. Like, that isn't the place where you can go in with money to receive goods in exchange. But seriously, like, people from Eastern Europe do not understand this. It's like, oh, so, like, people don't have money to build one? No. Like, they could. No, listen, they could. Like, they could make a loan, in theory. Like someone from outside could technically come in and build a store there. But if they do that, they immediately realize why it's a bad idea to do it. See, another person. I'm not talking about the ones with the zoning laws, because I understand those, right? Like, if you can't open a store because it's illegal, you're not going to open a store. I get that. What I am saying is that there are places where you're allowed to open a store. Like, if you want to, you can. There's nothing stopping you. But what will happen is that you'll get robbed. They will burn it down. They will break your fucking windows. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like people wouldn't come up to you and try to buy shit is that if you hire people there, they will rob you from the inside. Any employee that you hire is going to either scam you, beat you up and steal your shit, or they're going to break your fucking windows. That's why there's no store there, right? So if Zlatan thinks like, oh, well, the government can open them, I guess they could, right? And two things are going to happen. Either he starts policing and he starts beating the living shit out of any gang that even tries to enter his store, which doesn't look good on camera, or he just opens for the sake of opening it, manages to pay his friends and pay the people involved in the construction of it, and then it gets robbed. But that's why, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about homeowner associations. I'm not talking about like people living in the middle of the wilderness. I'm talking about like places where the crime rate is so fucking astonishingly high. And you can even have people that come in there to kill you for no reason whatsoever. Like there was a stabbing in London. Why? Because they're high on drugs. Right? And so this is why you have food deserts. Are homeowners associations evil? Homeowners association is what you get when communism happens naturally. Right? Like, you have a place where people can enjoy freedom and liberty, but then they decide, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to have communism. And so they do the homeowner association nonsense. Are they evil? I mean, they're doing literally what they're supposed to do. Now it's annoying if you're trapped, I understand the retards that like generally want homeowner associations and they happen to get one, but like the ones that don't want it and it's enforced upon them, that's cruel and unusual. So like if you're not an American and you don't know what a homeowner association is, let me see if I can find. I mean, in a way, it is for some people. Like some people can actually enjoy having a homeowner association, which is why they exist. Because if like everyone would think like us, and if everyone would be driven mad by the very concept of these things, then they wouldn't exist, right? But the reality is like most people like them. So there's two reasons for people liking them. One is true, but it's being overblown. And it's like, well, people buy these houses not to live in them, but because they want to sell them. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, some do. But, like, there are people that actually do live in these places, right? It's not like China. Like, China is like that. They have, like, entire ghost cities where people just buy property so they can sell it later. This is not that. Like, there are people that, unironically, I know it's difficult to believe, but enjoy living in a place with a homeowner association. And so the question is like, what do they do? Well, it depends, really. Like some of them are insufferable, others are more accommodating. But the idea is, when you buy a house like this, right? If your neighbor, let's say, stops taking care of his house and it starts looking like it's a place from Detroit, when you want to sell your house later on, people may not want to buy it because like they're looking at their neighbors. It looks like a drug den. It's stinky. Right? It's got weeds, and people go like, no, I would rather buy this house that's away from this. And so, like, people decided, well, what if we make homeowner association and we force people to make sure that the homes are in the same way that they're being maintained in the same way that they bought them. That's the idea. However, usually you have mission creep. This is what happens with all bureaucracies, right? Like, they start with a noble purpose, and then they constantly take more and more attributions until they become like an eldritch horror. And so like you're going to have things like, okay, you need to take out the trash up until exactly 7 p.m. You can't take the trash after 7 p.m. at night. Again, like the rule sounds nice until you realize that, oh shit, I forgot. And now you can't take out the trash anymore, or you get a fine if you're caught. Or they will say you can't, like when you take the trash, you need to take it back after the garbage man came, so you need to take it back by 8 a.m. Because like if someone wants to sell their house, right, like this is the mentality. Let's say like this person wants to sell their house, and he's got the clients coming over. They don't want to see the garbage dumps, right? Like they shouldn't see the garbage. They should see like the entire place looking nice. It's about saving face, basically, right? Because obviously there's trash, but you don't have to see it. And then based on the retardation, it can be like the colors you're allowed to use on the house, right? Like apparently, like here, the homeowner association is very generous. There are places where the houses have to look exactly the same with the exact same color, and if you want to do a repaint job, it's fucking maddening if you can't find the color. You know, like you could possibly want to change the coloration of your house, or you could try to, like you generally don't have the paint that looks the same way, but you have to find it now. And because of that, the paint company can actually increase the prices if they're aware that there's like many homeowner associations in that area that like force people to buy that paint. They can put a 25% extra. Anyway, you're not allowed to use your gardens for whatever you want. Like say you want to plant some carrots or some medicinal herbs. You're not allowed. To be honest, like I kind of like this because that is a reason why people buy houses like this, you know? And one of the reasons is the aesthetic. And the reality is, like, if you're going to start planting onion, I mean, sure, you got your own onion, but it looks like shit, right? And so, like, the homeowner association in this regard is something that I like, but again, the mission creep is the thing. But, you know, it's one thing when you go to a neighborhood that it looks like fucking heaven. Like, it looks like this. It's aesthetically pleasing. And so this is why, like, some people enjoy the homeowner associations. But yeah, and then there's like a lot of rules. Kids aren't allowed to play up until a certain hour. You're not allowed to make noise after a certain hour. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. And every single year, I understand, like the number of rules increases. Like I have a friend, her name is Kate, and she liked to play with drones. Like she liked to this hobby where you get the drone up and you immediately like people started bitching and like you're seeing into my backyard, you're spying on me, you know, like I would understand like if you put the drone literally in front of her window, right? But the funny thing is like most people already have DoorDash. Like they already have like cameras in front of their door, right? So like when the bitch goes out and just like goes down the street, like, obviously, she's going to be spied on by all the people. So it's like, what's one more drone? The thing is, like, there are these people that genuinely like drama and conflict, right? Like, they live for that. And they want to impose respect. So, like, this is not about, like, her being filmed with drones. This is about, like, her wanting to see if she can impose that authority, right? Like, wanting to see, like, if she can dominate the community, if she's at the top of the social ladder. That's what it's about. Like, it's about getting Kate to sit the fuck down. And if you have a homeowner authority, it's very easy for these psychopaths to gain power because all they can do is they go to the HOA and they bitch, they cry, and they whine. You know, if you go to the cops can go like, well, what does the law say? Where did she fly the drone? Well, she fly the drone in her backyard. Okay, who fucking cares, right? But if you have a homeowner association and you have pressure from the houses and it's like, oh, we need to make sure that no one flies drones and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, like, the drones is just one example. I'm sure, like, a lot of people that do happen to have the hellish homeowner association would know more examples than this. You will not get me to sign on to any authority that is not accountable. HOA can pound sand. Yeah, but like, what do you do when you're in a neighborhood and 50% plus one of the other people want the HOA, right? And then you're forced to abide by it. Problem with drones is government abuse use of them. People can't tell the difference between police and cities over the commercial. I don't know what to say. Like, in a way, I kind of understand. I think, like, this is not the situation where you have, like, a do or don't. It's not like a clear case of rule. It's more context-based. Like, if I see one of my neighbors, right, like, legitimately having this hobby of playing with drones, and they actually enjoy, you know, like, flying them and shit, I'm not going to start shit over that. But, like, if I see that my neighbor is actually spying on people, right, like, he is using the drones to actually look in people's backyards, and, you know, he then starts talking about what he saw and shit like that, well, that's a different thing. And I do think that's not respectable, right? I mean, if a neighbor, like, has a drone and then says, oh, have you seen Marius's backyard? Oh, my God, it's a trash dump. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's his backyard. Why are you using a drone to look, you know? right? Like, and even if he says, well, it was on my property, yeah, but like, why are you talking about what's in someone else's backyard? Do you want me to build a castle tower in my backyard so I can look into your neighborhood? You know, like, shut the fuck up. One of the worst things I heard of HOA fined people over having wrong color blinds. Yeah, I mean, literally, the reason that happens is because people generally want that. Like, they want to be fined for having the wrong color blinds. So, like, what can you do? Take into account that the fining for the HOA is also for them to raise a budget, right? Like, it's not necessarily to punish you. It can also be built around the idea, okay, well, we can make more money if we find, like, a lot of things to fine people. Because, like, at some point, someone is going to fuck up. I bet some HOAs have some of the drones to check on houses. Okay, hold on. No fucking way. Let me check. I'm going to actually... This is going to be so funny if true. Hold on. Do some HOAs use drones to spy on people to see if there is compliance? Oh my fucking god, no fucking way. Some HOAs absolutely do use drones for compliance check, though they usually phrase it as aerial inspections. In the US, there has been documented cases of HOA hiring private contractors or even hobbyist drone pilots to survey property. Unapproved backyard structure, shed, pool. Yeah, so they literally look into your backyard, right? Because, like, the backyard, they can't see it. And usually, like, the way it worked is if you have some guests over and they rat on you, but now they actually use drones and they can see it. Lawn and roof maintenance, illegal parking or stored vehicles, fence height or property boundary issues. Privacy laws vary by state. In some states they can do it, in others they can't. In Texas, barbecue man, pay attention, they have anti-voyeurism or peeping drone laws, which could make this kind of surveillance illegal if it captures images of private areas. Community backlash. When residents find out, it often blows up spectacularly. You'll see Facebook group wars, lawsuits, and resignations. In HOA boards that get caught doing this. Even compliant use like survey after storms can feel invasive. It's a classic example of an HOA enforcing community standards in the least neighborly way possible. So yes, it happens. Holy shit. See, I learned something today. This is a woman problem. No, it's a man problem. Imagine you're married, right? Like I will tell you something that a lot of men aren't prepared for, and no one coached me on this. Like, my dad didn't tell me. I haven't seen it in TV shows. Like, nothing in my life prepared me for this. But imagine this, right? Like, you're a guy, you're a stoic person, you're the calm boat on the ocean. Everything is nice, you know. You don't get into trouble with anyone. You just know how to deal with things, right? And you're in charge of your destiny. And then you get a woman, a sakubasu with big tits. Which is fine, you know. Let's say that you actually get along with her. Like, she doesn't cause drama, there's no problem. Now there's two boats on the calm ocean, right? Now, across the street, there's a neighbor. Let's say he's a very muscular individual, but he's a charming guy, you know. Like, you get along with him as well. And one day, he gets his own sakubasu. Now the problem happens when your sakubasu and his sakubasu start arguing, okay? Now you have like two women arguing. So when you say, oh, it's a girl issue, yeah, it is. And you happen to be married with one. And the neighbor is a muscular motherfucker. And now your woman is constantly being upset. Oh, how can we allow? Look what they're doing. What's going on? You know? Like, nothing in my life prepared me, and I still don't know how to deal with it. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. Again, it depends on the problem and on the context. But it's really annoying. It's infuriating. Like, for example, it is like a Flintstone episode. Like, I had one of my neighbors destroy my fence. Like, it's kind of interesting because he was a Muslim. But he backed his car and he rammed it into my fence. And I'm like, okay. You know, I go to his door and I'm like, well, this happened. What are we going to do about it? And he's like, well, how much does it cost? And I'm like, well, this is how much. He pays me, I shake hands, it is what it is. My wife comes in. It's the end of the fucking universe. The fence is destroyed. The aesthetic is gone. It's, who did this? Who did this? And I'm like, oh, I fixed it. I worked it out. But did he suffer? I'm like, no, he didn't suffer. That's not okay. That's not acceptable. And she goes and she starts arguing with his wife. And she causes drama. And then she gets like the whole neighborhood up the guy's ass. And now the guy is angry at me. And I'm like, what the fuck are you angry at me for? I didn't fucking do anything. But it's just like one of those examples, right? When you're getting into trouble, it's like, it's a women's issue. Yeah, it is. It is women's issue. But, you're married to one, so. Yeah, I did get invaded by Turks. No, I did not cover his house in bacon as retribution. He didn't do, like, look, I'm not going to be like the guy, because you guys don't know how awesome it is to have me as your neighbor. Like, if I was your neighbor, you would think that the neighbor from heaven has arrived. Like, I literally, like, not only am I helpful, like, if I find out you need money, or if I find out you need something, I'm there. I don't play loud music, I don't cause problems, right? I don't judge you, I don't peek past your window to see what you're doing. Like, I am the neighbor from heaven. And so, like, if you manage to hit my fence, I'm not going to be like, oh, how could you? Why did this happen? Why are you a piece of shit? I'm going to be like, okay, this happened, how do we fix it, right? And if you're actually cooperative and you're admitting guilt, and you're like, yeah, I fucked it up, and I'm like, okay, well, it happened. What can we do now? And from that moment forward, if you pay me and we fix the fence, I'm happy. I'm not screaming. I'm not holding a grudge. Because, like, at some point, I can think, okay, well, maybe I do something bad, you know? Maybe I will have a car one day and break into your house with the car. And I will expect forgiveness. And so, no, it's fine. Now, if you're being a chicken little shit, and you're starting to look at my window and what I'm doing in my house, and you're like, I had the little girl from the neighbor. I think she's like 12. And it's like, Mister, why do you never leave your house? Because I don't want a little girl. I like it inside. You know, it's like, no, but like, seriously, this is fucking cringy. Like, the idea is that my neighbors are gossiping that I spend too much time indoors. I'm becoming like the boogeyman of the children. Like, there is a house in the neighborhood owned by a man. He never leaves. Never leave. But legend has it, if you walk at 7 p.m. before the sun fully sets, you may find him taking out his trash. I mean, no, seriously. And another one is like, no, seriously, like, this girl is keeping tabs on me. I unironically hate her. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm getting this fucking close to call her parents and tell her to keep the spawn away from me. Mister, why did you leave your house without the shoes on? Because I'm in my fucking backyard. That's why I'm leaving. It's my yard. I'm just here to take out the trash and I'm going back in. Why do I need to put shoes? Like, what the fucking hell? Hey V, last guest went quite well. I think any ideas on whose guest going to be next? I don't know. But yeah. I'll probably have ores next. And I'll have amalgamite again when I can, and I'll also take lamna. Yeah, like in Romania during summer, you get like 20 degrees, 22 degrees temperature on the asphalt, and it's actually quite pleasant. And if I'm going out for like 30 seconds just to take out the trash and come back in, it's my own backyard. Like, I'm not going to put shoes on. The fuck out. Yeah, I think I did tell this to people. But I'll tell it again, like last story before we end the stream. This one was like the most horrifying moment that I had in contact with children. My cat, when it had the litter of kittens, in the infinite wisdom of my wife, she actually invited all the kids from the neighborhood to see the kittens. And I'm like, that's kind of a bad idea, but like, she wanted to, right? And there's like the kids, and they're going upstairs, and they're seeing the kittens, and they're very excited and emotional, like kids are. And then the next day, I hear like at my door, you know, and I'm a YouTuber. I work at night. I sleep during the day, and so I'm like in my underwear because it was like 35 degrees outside, right? And I'm just peeking, trying to see who's at the door, and it's like the entire kindergarten from the neighborhood. And I'm looking at like what fucking time is it, you know? And it's like 1 p.m. and I get fucking I'm not going down, you know. And I go back to sleep. And my wife wasn't home either. Like, she was working at the hospital. And they keep banging and banging. And I'm like, okay, well, after a while, they're going to get bored, right? And then I hear a little girl. The door is unlocked. We can get in. So I'm a 39-year-old man, you know. I'm in my underwear asleep. And these kids are coming in without parents. I'm thinking, like, it's not a good idea. You know, it's not really good. And that's the only time I had a conversation with their parents, because I generally was like, look, there is this thing we have in Romania. It's called private property, and I understand, you know, like, your children, they're wonderful, absolutely fantastic. My wife loves them, me not so much. But can you teach them that even if the door happens to be unlocked because my wife forgot to lock it with the key when she went, it's not okay to enter my house? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, Martinez, thank you for 25 Romanian currency. You go out in the streets barefoot. Did you tell Lablam? Did she ask for pics? No, it wasn't the street. It was my backyard. It's actually quite nice if you have grass, right? You go touch grass. Yeah, there were the kitties. Alright. Chat. I'm going to go play Europea Universalis now. I asked Arch to play Europea Universalis, and he said, well, so many people have played Europea Universalis that they played it 2 weeks before launch, so now there's no more audience. Which is probably true. Like, a lot of people play themselves, but like, there's also people that want to learn tips and tricks. So maybe Arch is wrong. Who knows? I heard, like, you can bribe him to play. But anyway, right. Chat, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.